the ferry sink. Okay, but there is no so-called risk involved for the past year of dealing. And the defendant argument is there's no consistent way of doing things. That means not every time the ferry sink, all right? Only maybe 1 year or 5 year one time. So they cannot claim from the ferry owner, okay? They only can claim from the insurance, right? Okay, term, condition, and warrant. And warranty. So the term of contract have been traditionally divided into two: the condition and the warranty. Okay, what is it about? Okay, not all terms are equal important. The condition is an essential term of contract to go to the root or the heart of the contract. All right. And it's important to distinguish between a condition and a warranty because a breach of them will lead to different results. Right? A condition is an important term which goes to the roots of the contract. A breach of condition entitles the injured person to repudiate, terminate the contract and claim damages. The warranty is less important, which entitles the injured party to claim damages also only. Okay? That means to say, if you look at this condition, right? The condition is what? You buy an equipment, you meet all the specifications of the contract, purchase order, stated that this is a condition, then you sell to me. So I am the buyer, I look at the equipment, I check everything is according to the condition that I stated, your company stated. So you check everything okay. Okay, this is the first phase of buying the equipment into your company, right? Then the designer or the supplier will say, okay, with this equipment in place in your site, okay, I can give you a warranty of maybe 2 years, part damage or whatever. We replace it FOC, right? That means to say, if the condition doesn't meet, you can return the equipment. But if the condition meet, but after a few months or few weeks operation, right, the equipment damage, then the company, the seller will guarantee that he will send a repair team to repair. And this is where warranty play a very important part. For example, you buy a watch, let's say a Rolex watch, you buy 10,000. Okay, guarantee, the warranty is a lifetime. That means any part that is damaged, you can send for replacement. But the moment you sign the contract or you purchase the watch, the condition is as what is stated in the purchase order. You cannot reject it. Okay, reject it, the seller will sue you. Right? Take note of that. Okay, term may be held a condition by 3 methods: by the law, judicial, judge's classification, and by the term and condition stated by both parties. Okay? It's not good, I don't want to talk about because the law and here Singapore is different. Okay, anyway, the condition is about the same. Okay, statutory classification. Okay, for example, Moore and Company and Landor. Okay, a sales was agreed by quantity of tin food described as packed in cases of 30. One case is how many? 30. Okay, the correct quantity was delivered, but in cases of 24 tin, the whole consignments were rejected by the buyer, but without any reason being given other than the quantity packed. Okay, so the goods did not correspond with their description, contrary to the term applied in this. So the buyer was entitled to repudiate the contract. That means to cancel the contract, right? So what you state here, the condition of purchase is not met with the buyer stated. So at first the contract said that 30 tin per carton or per box, but you only provide 24. So the buyer have every right to repudiate the contract, to cancel the contract, to reject the goods. Okay. Judicial classification. The court distinguished between two terms, whether they are condition or warranty, using the following test. What were the intention of the party? What were the consequences of the breach? Okay. So the intention, the party say he want to buy this equipment, come in. That is your intention. When meeting all the conditions is okay. Then what is the consequences of the breach? Okay. Not breach of purchase. Okay. Breaches of what is designed to be operation but doesn't meet the specification, doesn't meet the requirement that early on the seller stated in the contract, meet the production date, for example. So that it will be the breaches, or in other way, warranty. Okay. So condition and root causes of the contract, where court find that its goal to the roots of the contract. Right? So Posa and versus Spire and Pond. Okay, the actress contracted to appear in a play commencing on the particular date. She fell ill and become available to appear only someday after the play run has started. In her absence, the substitute was engaged and the producer therefore refused her service when she returned. So the producer was entitled to repudiate the contract because of a late arrival, was a breach of condition going to the roots of the contract. Okay. So in another case, a heifer was put up for sale, but no warranty was given to his state. The claimant asked whether it was a calf and stated that he was not interested in buying if it was, right? So the claimant entitled to repudiate the contract as the state of the calf was a condition going to the root of the contract. Of course, okay, by this case, you know, your root cause of the contract is you don't want to buy a material made of calf, right? Warranty. Okay. Talk about this warranty. Talk about this Bettini and Gay. Okay. The singer was contracted to perform from 30th March to 13th July and to attend to 6 days before for rehearsal. Because of her illness, the singer did not arrive until 28th of March and was told that his service was not required. Okay, so it was held on the fact that missing a few days of rehearsal did not amount to the breach of condition. Thus, repudiation of the contract was not possible. Only damages can be covered. Okay, because the singer was contracted to perform on the 30th of March, but only never go through the 6th day of rehearsal. That means if you count backward, it's on the 24th of March, he or she must be present for rehearsal activity. But because of the sickness, he extend until 28th of March, then he attend the rehearsal. So that is not a cause for this termination of contract because the actual performance date where the contracting company get the income from the audience is on effectively 30th, not on 28th, right? So the company cannot withhold the contract, cannot repudiate the contract, right? But only can claim that he never attend the rehearsal. But as long as the performance is okay, that will be a third party judgment again. So this case will be a little bit complicated, right? Take note. Okay. Intention of the party, Bannerman and versus White. The buyer of hops asked whether sulfur have been used in this cultivation of hops. He said that if they were, he will not even bother to ask the price. That was a clear intention. That will be a condition of the contract. Okay, so if you sell the hop contains certain sulfur content, then the buyer will not pay for it. Okay, actually the buyer should destroy the hop. Okay. Okay, mere use of the word condition in a contract does not make it a condition, right? So take note, the condition you must be able to describe what sort of condition. You really write the root of the condition that you want to state. Okay, the term of agreement say that it was a condition that a distributor should visit 6 named customer per week for each week of the duration of contract, which was the case. Okay, L. A failure to make one visit will not be a breach of a condition. Okay, very important thing, if you look at this sentence, this statement is what? You never visit a customer, it's okay. But there are other so-called warranty. Salesman meet the sale target is good enough already, right? Logically speaking, so doesn't miss the one visit, you cannot terminate him. Okay. Okay, intention of party. Okay, court may look at commercial importance of a term in relation to the industry or trade profession. So to find the intention of party and thus to determine whether a condition of warranty is breached. Okay. So fact is, Perth and Berners, they said that where in a contract for a charter of a ship, it was stated as a condition that the ship to be able to be, the ship has to be in the port of Amsterdam by certain date. The ship arrived 4 days later. This was a breach of condition as time is crucial in the chartering ship. Definitely. You delay, customer run away to another ship. Okay. So the intention is correct, but the ship owner delay the arrival. Right? Customer may run away. Consequences of breach. At times, it might be difficult to conclude whether a term is a condition or a warranty based on the nature of the term and the intention of the party. So court will look at the consequences of the breach. Right? So the more serious the consequences, the more likely it is that the breach will entitle the innocent person or innocent party to repudiate the contract. Right? Take note. So here is consequences of breaches, again the same. Okay. So Hong Kong FIR Shipping and Kawasaki Keishan Kazuha. All right. The claimant owned a ship which they chartered to the defender for 24 months. But a term in the contract required the ship to be everywhere fitted with cargo services. On the voyage to Osaka, the ship was delayed for almost 20 weeks. It was a seaworthy only in September. Meanwhile, the defendant repudiated the contract. Okay, so it's right or wrong? Okay. So the breach contract, this one is clearly stated that the ship was delayed 20 weeks. Definitely the defendant have the right to cancel the contract. Okay. Okay, the court held that the consequence of breach was not severe enough for repudiation of contract by the defendant. The defendant should have sued for breach. Not repudiated. That means to say, break the contract? No. But you can ask for payment for the delay of 20 days. Okay. Note, the court surprisingly did not use the term condition or warranty to come to this conclusion. Okay, it say about the breach only. That means to say you agree upon A, end up the result become A1. So I will sue you for the breaching of contract. But to a certain amount cannot be terminated the contract. So depend on the court or the lawyer, the judges. So again, this case also same. All right, I don't want to talk about it too much already. Okay. So you guys you have this material, you better read. I'm going to prepare one question on that, on this type of condition. It can be breach, can be root causes, can be any other thing. Okay? You know, huh? You think you are able to answer, no, friend? No. Don't every now and then give me a disappointment. The last paper, nobody answer, only one Harini answer. The answer also not so good. Oh, I never see a full class submit the paper. You guys are too busy or you don't understand at all. Oh, this law, contract law even more difficult. All right. Don't worry, I will not ask you more than stay quiet. All right. Okay. So again, the consequences of breaches, I don't talk about it. Okay. Again, same. Oh. So here is short one I can explain to you roughly. The goods did not correspond with their description of contrary to the term imply, as this is a British law, the buyer is entitled to cancel the contract. The fruit was merchantable and satisfactory, and the consequences was minimum. But the court chose this S13 SGA to cancel the contract. Okay. Any question? Hello.
No question.
Oh, no question. Can I understand? I will. Your assignment next week. I give it to you. Will include one of this test. All right. So you try to explain from your own knowledge. You read through one more time, or 2 times, or 3 times, then you will understand. All right. Accor Limited versus Renaissance 1933. Okay, the fact is the timber were used for making barrel to store cement. Was described as being half-inch thick. The timber was actually delivered was slightly thinner, was therefore rejected by the buyer. The fact, the difference in thickness make no difference to the use of wood for making barrel. Hell, the buyer was entitled to reject the barrel, okay, and did not correspond with their description. All right. Okay. Always this type of purchases are your specification of the buyer's specification, the seller sell to the buyer disagree with this specification that is not according to his demand, the buyer have every right. But if you were to inform the buyer that this thickness or this spec doesn't meet, can we send you an alternative? Of course, the buyer will consider and do a recontract obligation between both parties. Then there will be no consequences of breaches. Right? So in the purchasing, in the construction industry, sometimes we may encounter this type of problem. Let's, for example, we buy thick, what do you call the plank, wooden plank for the so-called the building up of a column or whatever. So the plank can be thinner a little bit, but the buyer inform and inform the buyer, and the seller can have so-called justification that thin by 1 mm doesn't cause any disruptive or unsafe condition for the plank to do the so-called the formwork. Okay, all these things must be written in a contract, recontract description. Then the buyer will sign and you can send to them. Okay, don't anyhow do things when this thing happen. I have encountered years ago when my company, I work for Shell, we buy stainless steel material. So stainless steel material, we say that what we call the sulfur content should be less than certain percentage. But the seller sent to us, okay, higher than the sulfur content. We did not know. The buyer never, the seller never informed us. So one of the day, my mechanical engineer cut a piece of sample and sent to the lab to check. And we found that the sulfur content was very high. So we called the seller, and the seller said, we want them to take back, but take back, it cost them about a few $100,000. So they don't want to take back. But after negotiation, they agree that the selling price be reduced by 15%. Okay, but on our part, we are the user of the material. We have to calculate, okay, the load of this material, the strength of this material, whether it is feasible for the production side or not. If not, we have to reject. If can, we still accept. So eventually, the engineer calculate, say that this material is usable, okay, but loading cannot be so much. That means to say, we worry about crack, so we load the process using this material 5% reduced, and it will be okay. So we tested for 1 year, no problem. Then we accept that the price reduced, but we still use the material. Okay, so there are technical aspects when it comes to consequences of breaching of contract, and in terms of quality of the material, you have to consider wisely. So you have to get somebody who are expert in this material engineer, so that they can do a verification that this inferior quality can be used by the production, can be used for export. Will the customer complain? All these things will have consequences for your own company, right? The seller, I sell to you, I give you discount after negotiation, that's it. That means his duty over. But your duty is to satisfy your customer requirement. Okay, you must do a due diligence to check. Okay, everything is okay, then you say, okay, the consequence of breaching is very little, so we accept the discount rate. Right. Okay, So you can see that, talk about law, this is the law. Okay, this is a contract law. You talk about engineering perspective, you talk about design perspective, you talk about the so-called the strength of the material. You buy inferior material, the consequences will be great for the buyer, because the material you use for produce your product, this product may be slightly inferior. You sell to the customer, if they have problem, they will sue you until you bankrupt. Right? So take note of that. If you are an engineer in a company or in the company that deal with all this sort of thing. Okay? Law is law, contract law is law. But when you come to technical specialty, you must know whether you buy the inferior material, will it harm the company? Will it harm the reputation? Will it harm the profit? All this sort of thing. Take note, okay? So you must be very clear about this. You cannot specify on only the contract of purchase, but you also must specify about the specification, the design aspect of it. Okay, so all these things will play a very great part in your company performance and reputation. Okay, understand? Hello.
Yes, sir, understand.
So please show your face. I take a photo. Show your face, please. Hey, show your face. Okay, thank you. All of you look very fresh. Yesterday, sleep a lot. This past week, good weather. I also sleep a lot in the afternoon. Later, I have to go for dinner, lunch. We have a meeting for the printing industry. I'm helping them to develop training materials. Okay. So if nothing, shall we stop the trading? No question, right? Any question?
No question, sir.
Question, So thank you very much. See you on next week.
Okay.
Next week, Monday, I will see you. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm not around. Next week, Monday, I will give you all the assessment paper. Right. Okay. Thank you. Okay.